Hey, how's it going everybody? Cubfan here, and today I have a Minecraft invention that I created to show you. This is a one-to-one multiplayer friendly and also bucket friendly player shop. So basically this shop trades any one item for any other one item. So here I'm trading diamonds for any of these 8 blocks, and I'll show you how it works here. So step up if you want a gold block, select that button. If you want an anvil, select that button, and then I'll show you in here. There's nothing currently in the hopper or the chest or the hopper behind the chest. And so to pay for the gold block and anvil that we have said we wanted, we just simply toss 1 diamond in there. There's our gold block, and then our anvil should come next. There we go. So that's how that works. Then we can select another item or just leave the shop. And yeah, that's pretty much it. There's also some other features that I'll show you. So for instance, it's undupable. You can't dupe anywhere possible that I can see, at least. And also it's infinitely expandable width-wise and also height-wise, but it's a little bit trickier. And I'll show you how to do that. I'm actually going to split this video up into 3 sections. The first one will be the features section. Second one will be the explanation section, and the third one will be the tutorial. So without further ado, go ahead and click on one of those, or just wait, and we'll begin. Okay, so let's take a look at some of the features of this shop. So first of all, there's nothing in these item hoppers, in this chest, or in the chest behind the hopper that you can steal anything from, so that's good. There's also nothing, as you can imagine a wall here, there's nothing you could steal from back here. And one of the main things with this is these indicator lamps in the front. When you hit a button to pay for an item, these lamps will light up, showing you it's okay to pay for that item. However, there's nothing in the chest initially. If you try and throw something that is a non-payment item, so our payment item is diamonds in this case, into the hopper, you'll see it automatically sucks them up. Doesn't matter what they are. It can even be a non-stackable item. There'll still be nothing in this hopper unless it receives the appropriate payment, at which point you'll get the item you paid for. Alright, and say if somebody came up to this shop and just selected a bunch of things like that and didn't pay for anything, the items that person selected will be recycled through the system and will be cleared so that when the next player comes up and wants to purchase something, they can get the correct items. So that's another good feature. Alright, and the only issue with this design is that once these lights go off, there is a cooldown period that you can determine how long that is. But there's a cooldown period where it's possible you could hit a button and pay for an item and then not get it over here. So just be aware that there is a brief cooldown period after these lights go off. Alright, let's move on to how the machine works now. So let's just come over here and see it first of all. So there it is. That's what it looks like from above and below there. Alright, so basically how it works is you hit one of these buttons. Let's say we select a potion here. So we'll hit this top button. Redstone signal travels through these repeaters rather, and activates the dropper here. Dropper then outputs the item into this hopper line. The item then flows through the hoppers, down through there, and eventually winds up over here at this hopper. Now this hopper queues all items you select, and it is locked by this torch here. So let's just go ahead and select this potion. And okay, so that comes through. We have a regen potion queued up here. If we selected something else, so let's say we select this ender chest for instance, that'll also be queued in here. Now once we pay over here into this hopper. This goes down to this chest. This chest will then output the item, if it's a diamond, to this hopper. If it's not a diamond, it stays in here, so it doesn't accept anything other than a diamond. But if it is a diamond, it goes in here. And as you saw there, this thing pulses. This is an item sorter, and once this pulses, this briefly turns off this torch, which removes one item from this hopper, and the item is deposited over here. Now you'll see in a second here, if you don't pay for an item, so we didn't pay for that ender chest, and you'll see it got sucked through here, and now it's hanging out down here as one of these 3 ender chests. And that happens because this circuit right here, there's a clock here that activates whenever you hit the button and put at least one item into this hopper. So basically when there's an item in this hopper, this comparator is on, which means this torch is off, which means this block is then in this section here, and it actually locks this hopper in the, or sorry, this repeater in the off position. So let me make sure it's reset here. It's almost reset. I'll just show what I mean here in a second. So we'll go ahead and get another potion. There we go. So you'll see this clock is now started. This repeater is now locked. And whenever the clock runs out here, so you have a set amount of time to purchase the item. Whenever this clock runs out, this block will then be pushed left again, which will cause this repeater to power on briefly for a few ticks, which means this torch goes off, and the item then flows from here through this chest and then down here. So that's how it clears the item after a brief time. Now, some of you might be wondering if it's possible to catch this item as it flows through the hoppers into this chest and then down. You can occasionally, but you have to be very, very lucky, and yeah, even then it's not very efficient because yeah, it takes a long time between the cooldown and the time the item is dispensed. And you see there I missed it totally, even though I was clicking pretty rapidly there. So it's very, very difficult to get it. Occasionally you can get lucky, and if you have like a lag spike or something, you might be able to get it, but other than that, not really possible. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started with this tutorial here. So first off, I'm going to start with a 4x4 platform that is 1, 2, 3, 4 blocks off the ground. Now we're going to come back here. I'm going to drop down, and we're going to make 2 little L shapes like that. And that's going to house our chest and our hopper. And the hopper should be facing straight down. And go ahead and get rid of those blocks there. And you can place 2 blocks like this. We're going to go ahead and place redstone lamps down there. And then come up, and we're going to go ahead and do some stained clay here. You can use any sort of block you want here, as long as it's a solid block that'll transmit power. And we'll grab a slew of buttons, place buttons in a 4x2 pattern like so. Then we'll go ahead and we'll come around to the back here, grab some droppers, place those down just like that. Now what we want to do here is actually go ahead and place the hopper line for these droppers. So come to this chest here, shift click on it so that it faces into that chest, shift click on it again, and now we'll go up one. So up one like that, up another one. Make sure these are all facing downward, and this one's facing into the previous hopper there. Now all the rest of the hoppers here will all go into one another just like that. So everything will go over to the left and then down and then over to this front chest. Alright, and now is as good a time as any to go ahead and place some blocks behind this hopper here. So if you just do that, that'll ensure that items won't be able to get out of the hopper once they're thrown in. And you can even put a block up like that if you're not concerned about width. And then come over here and put one on top of this hopper here, just like that. Just makes it look better. And then come on ahead and go to the back. You're going to go ahead and place a line of blocks on these hoppers like so. droppers facing outward like that. And then we'll do the same thing here that we did with this dropper set here. So we're actually going to come over here and start here. We'll place a dropper like that. Then just come back to the where the droppers start. So just like that. Then up. And then have all the hoppers in front of the droppers facing into this hopper here. Just like that. Alright, now if you want to add extra storage to this back row, you can. Do that just by placing hoppers on top of each of the droppers there. And then you can place chests or double chests on top of each and every one of these hoppers. Just like so. Alright, so now from a cross section your build should look a little bit like that. Okay, now we're going to make the system that will collect any items that aren't paid for, and also the item sorter on the input side. So on the right hand side here, we're going to come down from this chest 1, 2, 3 blocks and over 1. Get rid of those. Place down a chest, and you can even make it a double chest if you'd like. Then a hopper facing into that, and a hopper facing straight down underneath the output chest. Come over to the left now. Under the input hopper, place a chest down like so. And now we're going to do 2 blocks like that, and a hopper facing into one of the blocks there. Then we'll place a chest 1 block down and 1 block over there. This will be your payment chest, and a hopper facing into that. Now you want to dig out directly under this hopper and place a torch. That'll lock that hopper. And then we're going to also go ahead and place a repeater facing into the block that that torch is on. Now what we'll do, we'll go ahead and we will place 2 blocks like that. We're going to go ahead and get out a comparator and place it facing outward like so. Dust on there, bit of dust on the block 1 down from that, and that should be your item sorter. So now what you need to do is place whatever payment item you want in here. So let's say you want to pay iron blocks. So you go ahead and place 18 iron blocks in the first slot, and then 1 block of iron in each of the other slots for a total of 22. So now you should see when I place an iron block in here, it automatically gets taken out, and you can place a bunch in there if you want to. Make sure it always comes to 18 in this first slot, and they all flow into the payment chest. Okay, so from here we'll come down once again to our item sorter now, and we'll come over 1 block here, put dust on it, and we'll have a repeater on single tick delay there. Then we'll come over 1, back toward this hopper 1, 2, and we'll place a block down there and a block down right there. And we'll put dust on that one and a torch on this one. And so this torch will lock this hopper. This will be our Q hopper. Now we'll come over here, place a block on that hopper, and then a block like so with a comparator. This will detect if there is any item inside of this hopper. And then what I typically do is I typically place a note block down here with a torch on it. So now this note block should sound whenever there's an item in the hopper, just like that. Okay, so from this point we will now switch gears and come over here to our output chest right here. We're going to skip a block here, place 1 block here with dust on it, place a redstone comparator down, and what we're doing here is we are making a hopper timer. So this was originally invented by Ethos Lab. So all credit goes to him for this design. Just a standard timer here. Sticky pistons, just like that. Alright, so we got our timer made. And you can put blocks in now if you want to, but I'm going to wait until the end to do that. And what we'll do is we'll actually go ahead and place some blocks like this, just some solid blocks on the ground, just like so. And then we're going to go ahead from this torch here, we'll come down 1, 2 blocks, over 1, And we'll go up one here, over one, so we're right next to that hopper. Back toward this way one more, and one like that, and then put dust on top of all those blocks, and that should extend this piston right here. Okay, at this point what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and fill this clock with 2 stacks of items. You can put up to 5 in here for a longer delay. The longer delay you have, so the more items you have in this clock, the longer time you'll have to purchase items, but the delay between when you can purchase items will also be longer. So you can sort of adjust this clock to fit the needs when you build it on your server. But I recommend at least two stacks here, if not 3. So I'll put 2 stacks in there. Then what you want to do is you want to come next to the piston that's extended, place redstone dust there, place redstone dust here, and make sure and put a block to cut off this redstone here. If you don't do that, the whole thing will fail. Then we'll come over here, facing this direction back towards your lamps, place a repeater on 3 ticks, another repeater on 3 ticks, dust right there, and then back here we'll place dust here, repeater on 1 there, and a repeater facing into the block with a torch on it right there. So now what should happen, this will be our locking repeater mechanism that I showed you over there if you watched the explanation. So that will allow ourselves to cycle through any items that haven't been paid for. Alright, so we're almost done. Now what we want to do is we want to actually go ahead and lock this hopper whenever this is turned on so that items can stay in this chest. So we'll place a block directly next to the hopper underneath our output chest. So block there. Place a half slab right there. And then we're also going to want some half slabs sort of floating midair here. So we'll want one right here. Right there. So 1 block above this dust here and toward the front. And then we'll want 1 more in the back there. And of course we'll want 1 right there beside the lamps. So you might have to sort of take a minute there and see where all these slabs are. So there's 1 by the sorter chest. There's 1 just a block above this dust, and 1 directly above it, and then 1 right next to the lamps. And then put dust on top of everything there, just like that. Okay, so your build should look like this now. And one more thing we have to do is up here we need to place repeaters down on all those blocks there, each one of these hoppers, and each one of these droppers, just like so. So now from the right side, your build should look like that, and from the left side it should look like that. So that's the entire design done now. All you have to do is fill your droppers with whatever item you would like, and make sure that you have a way of communicating which button goes with which item via signs or item frames like I did here. Then you can go ahead and test it out. So let's see, we have chests in this dropper, so let's see. Hit the button. Light turns on, chime sounded, nothing in there, and I think we have iron blocks as our payment. Yes. Just clear the payment chest for right now. So if we toss 1 in, there we go. It works. And if you do build this, just make sure that players know to select their item first before paying. Otherwise, they will not get the item they select, and they'll be forced to pay again to get it. And also that these lights must be on for the payment to be accepted. Otherwise, the item will get pulled out of the queued hopper, but it'll get pulled out of the chest and they won't end up with their item. Other than that, though, I think that's pretty much everything. Feel free to download this world and check it out. Yeah, there's not too much to this world. There's also another system over here that's kind of interesting. It converts multiples of any item into multiples of any other item. So if you're looking for a multiple item system as opposed to the single item one you just saw, this is probably for you. And basically I'll just show you here. Let's make this into 2. So this system changes currently 1 diamond into 4 iron. So if we put 2 diamonds in there, we should get 8 iron blocks. So there's 4. It'll pause here. And 8. There we go. And I can also do a tutorial on this if you guys would like. It's a very simple system to do. Uses a really clever method of counting the items. And yeah, it's pretty straightforward. So that's going to be all for me today, guys. Hope you like this. Please let me know in the comments. And thank you all very much for watching. This has been Cub Fan. Goodbye.